Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin and
David Wynn.
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in every market. Hey, and today, guys, that market is Mississippi, and we've brought along Rod Whitfield from Click and Close Mortgage. And Rod, brother, you've got a great guest that you've brought along with you today. Rod, who'd you bring on today?
Lisa Dillon. She services the southwest corner of Mississippi, 9 counties, and she does a great job. She has great reviews. She puts up some incredible numbers.
Yeah. So that L spot right there next to Louisiana, not down here by the water, but just up north. Those are the counties she serves, right, Lisa? Is that right? Did we get that
That's right? That's right.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, Rod, and welcome to the show, Lisa. Super excited to track you down and get you here.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you're in Mississippi. Are you from Mississippi?
No, I am not. I have been here for 28 years.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in Massachusetts, and a truck driver asked me to dance 28 years ago, and here I am.
Was that Mr. Sippy?
Mr. Sippy. Yes.
That's Rod's joke. He queued me up before we came on, so we had to use it, right, Rod?
Yes, sir.
Very cool. So from up north, and
Yes.
now you're down south.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Yep.
So
Ready
how
to
long
dive
you
in.
been in? Yeah, how long you been down here?
I have, well, since 28 years. We moved 2 days after we got married.
So you were 2 years old and you got married.
I was 2 years old
Yeah.
when I got married and moved here.
And now you're 30. Wow.
Now I'm
that's
30.
awesome. You know what? If my 2-year-old got married, we'd have a problem.
I think so.
So you moved down here 28 years ago. So you're
Yes.
you're native to Mississippi now.
Pretty much. It's home now.
This is home. This is home.
Yeah.
And so were you a realtor up north before you moved down here?
No, I was a college kid.
Very cool. And you studied because you were going to be a realtor, right?
No, I don't think anybody does for the most part. This awesome career just kind of happens for most people, and a lot of people it's a second, third, fourth career. But I love it.
That's awesome. So what'd you go to school for?
I started out in accounting, and then I switched to environmental science. So my bachelor's is in environmental science.
Okay.
I have a minor in psychology and a focus on biology.
Very cool.
And then I went on a field trip to a wastewater treatment plant of all things, and somehow fell in love with the wastewater industry, which sounds really, really crazy. And I went to graduate school for that, and I met my husband one night.
That's the biology side, but you know,
That's
you
the
also
biology
said,
side.
yeah, you said accounting and you said psychology. I think
Yes.
that's where the realtor side came from.
Yes,
right?
I think so
Yeah.
too. I'm
Yeah.
all about the psychology. I really think that my background in that has helped me with clients, because this job is a whole lot of
demanding.
that.
Yeah,
If you-
it's demanding. So,
Yes.
so you came down here when you were 2 years old and just gotten married 28 years ago. Is that when you started your career as a realtor, or how did that kind of come together?
I did not. I actually I worked for the health department for 13 years, and I was blessed to be able to leave when my husband was involved in the oil field industry. We had a bunch of fracking going on here and had our own business, and the money was insane, and it was supposed to be here for about 10 years, and it left in a year. So it's all good though. I will never go back to a job. I'm completely unemployable at this point. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I can't do that. So
That's great though, you know, because when you can, you know, put yourself in a position to say I'm unemployable, it means you're doing great things, right?
Yes.
Because effectively you've become an entrepreneur and you know how to manage yourself, and you don't need
Mhm.
somebody to manage you, because as we know, the name of the show is Real Estate Success Partners. You're having incredible success in real estate. And that's where that entrepreneurship comes in. So you get started at 13 years after you move here.
Mhm.
And who'd you start with? What was the firm?
I actually started with Ladder and Bloom. Ladder and Bloom and Macomb. They're very popular in New Orleans. They're powered by ERA, and I was with them for 2 years. I got a great training and backup, and then I moved to EXP.
Okay.
I brought EXP to our area I was with them for 6 years. I was a 5-time Icon agent with them. I missed it by one transaction my first year, one closing. Yes. So that's okay. And then when I learned about Epic, I never thought I'd leave EXP, but I found better now, and I absolutely love it. And our real estate commission requires us to have a broker if we're going to open a new area. And so I had to go get my broker's license in order to do that. So if you want something bad enough, you make it go happen. And that's what I did. So I've been in since April now. And
I love that. So
I'll be
let's go
power agent.
backwards a little bit.
Sure.
And you just get into the industry,
Yes.
and you just came out of the gate blazing. You're closing, a ton of transactions in your first year. Said no one ever.
No, that is now, full transparency, when I got into this business, we basically lost everything. And my husband said, "You've got to go get some income." And I said, "But I'm not getting a job." And he said, "Well, what about real estate?" In several years, I've had different agents and different people in the public say, "Hey, you would be great. You need to do this." And I always said, "No, I really don't want to work nights and weekends." But I had no idea the flexibility that I would have doing this. I've literally worked from riverboats in Europe. I've worked from the rainforest of Ecuador. I've worked from cruise ships. I've worked from the beach. And I've worked from Malaysia. That was probably my furthest place I've been from home and worked a little bit. But I love that. I never knew I'd have that freedom and flexibility. And that's my favorite part.
It's a dream. It's a dream. It's a dream to be able to, A, do something that you love doing, right?
Yes.
But B, be able to do that and travel the world. You're a jet setter.
I love it. I love
Hang
it.
on a second. I'm going to have to counter that because I love it too. As a lender, I love being able to control my hours, do what I want. But
Yes.
a lot of people don't realize in real estate, it's a 24-hour, 7 days a week job.
100%.
My phone never, the good ones, our phones never
good
stop
ones.
ringing,
Right.
and the good people pick up.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
return calls. So I say it all the time. I've taken calls on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock or Wednesday night at 11 o'clock. So even though we get to set our own schedule, and even on vacation,
You're always on clock.
since I've been in this business, I've always been connected to my business, even on vacation. So it's a good and bad. It's something that that those that don't know need to know.
Yes.
But I love the freedom.
Yeah.
Because if I want to take off and go with my kids and go to their show or go to their sporting event or whatever,
That's right.
I just can finish up later on at night
You
time.
just go. That's right.
I love that. Okay, so you get in, and how long did it take before you really started feeling like you were getting traction?
Well, my first year, I made a whopping $11,000 in my first 6 months. My job at the health department with 6 years of college, I really didn't make all that much. And I made $15,000 more than that in my first full year of real estate. Yeah. And it's been 6 figures ever since. So it's wonderful. It was absolutely the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. So.
Well, let's explore that a little bit. So what do you do when you first get in, right? You're a first year agent. You're just starting to figure out what you don't do. What should you do, right? What did you do that really help get you off the to a good start?
Okay, so number one recommendation is definitely to sign up for every single possible free lead source that you can get. All of the big ones like OpCity, Referral Exchange, Homelight.com, there's a ton of them. They take a chunk, but it's business you wouldn't have before, and I still use a lot of those. The other thing, I was buying leads like from Realtor.com and Zillow, and that's really probably how I got started. I did not really get anything from my brokerage as far as leads. Once in a while, you got phone duty. Well, nobody calls the office. They call your cell phone. So it's like a big deal. Oh, yeah, I get the afternoon on Wednesday for phone duty and I'm going to get business. No, you don't get any business like that. Pretty much just letting everybody know and continually letting them know that you are an agent. You really don't know what you're doing yet. You're not an expert. When you first get involved, you're like, oh, I just love to show houses. This is so fun. And my first broker actually taught me something, and I remember to this day. She said, we do not show houses, we sell houses. And that changed my world because I was literally getting in the car every time I got a call. I'm like, yes, let's go look. Let's go look at the house. I did not ask any questions. I didn't know if they were pre-qualified. I did not really know anything. And I just ran around in circles. I work hard. I play hard. And it's just all about getting your name out there. And I can say honestly now, just in the last 2 years, it has finally that I'm getting that repeat business. I'm getting a lot of sphere of influence. My church is, I have people at church literally right now. I have my closing in less than an hour. I have a closing from a referral in one of my Sunday school class. I have a closing on Tuesday that was somebody from church. So it takes a while. That's not going to happen your first year. It's really not. Just getting those free referrals, I would say, is key.
You're building your database. Yeah, building your database. Let's go backwards a little bit. You said something about pre-qualified, right?
Yes.
And let's talk about that because I think this is important for two sides of the table. I think it's important for the consumer to understand why they should get pre-qualified before they start looking at houses. But I think it's also important to understand from the agent's perspective, right, why you need to make sure that your clients are pre-qualified before you start showing them houses. Talk about that a little bit, right? That was a learning curve for you. Why? Why are we getting people pre-qualified?
Well, because especially women, we get very, very emotionally attached to a house that we want to buy. And let's just say in my area, my price points are very much lower than everybody else. My average is probably 150, 175. So if you get in your head that you're looking at a $200,000 house, it's all renovated, it's got granite countertops, it's nice, it's clean, and then you get pre-qualified for $100,000, you're not happy because you've been looking at $200,000 houses. So not only is it wasting my time, but it's wasting their time, and it's putting emotional stress on them for something that they're just not qualified to get.
So smart. Yeah, so think about that. Effectively what happens is emotionally you get out there and you get attached to all those amenities, right? It's like, man, now I have to have this, right? Whereas before, had you taken the time to make sure that you know what you can qualify for, right? Take the time to reach out to the lender and basically go through all the qualification process so that you can walk out there and now you can know what you can buy with confidence, right? So that way when you're sitting down in front of your agent could say, well, this is what we can look at, right? And now when we go out and we look at those homes, we don't set false expectations so that it's not a disappointment when we walk through the door. It's still an exciting, emotional time in a positive way, right?
Absolutely.
You're building amazing energy. And for the agent, on your side of the table, you're not out there showing homes to somebody that literally is dreaming and doesn't realize that they can't get what they really want. So now you know that person can definitely purchase, that it's a good use of your time so that when you jump in the car and look at 50 properties potentially
on a Saturday
on a Saturday afternoon, that you're not spending your time and your energy and gas, right, to travel from place to place. Effectively, it's an effective use of your time, right? So, first year agents, that's a huge pro tip. And I hope you're with the brokerage that's educating you on that already. But if you're not, make sure that you're doing your due diligence because you're going to spend a lot of time with the wrong people. And it's not that we don't want to help those people. We certainly do, but we want to help them with what they can actually qualify for. And if they can't qualify, we're going to help get them mortgage ready, right? Get them to that point where they can qualify. Because I don't know about you, Lisa, but for us, we don't want to tell anybody that it's never an option. This is your pathway to home. This is what your option looks like. We want anybody that comes to us to have a clear mortgage plan, right, when they walk away. And, that's what happens when you work with professionals, right? We give people clear mortgage plans. We give them a clear path to home ownership.
One thing that I do a lot of is teaching my people. I mean, I don't know as much as you guys know about the mortgage industry, but I know enough to be kind of dangerous. I know the basics of all the USDA, FHA, VA, conventional. I know the basics of those. I know if someone's self-employed, you might make $200,000 a year, but if you write off $200,000 a year, your income's zero.
That's right.
That's good for you for taxes, but that's bad for you when you're trying to buy a house.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So,
sometimes when you meet and start talking about that early on, you can realize, oh, this year I may need to file my taxes a little bit differently,
right.
right? I'm getting prepared to purchase a home. Now, there are great programs out there that do allow for, client to qualify without income today, but they typically
Yes.
require a little bigger down payment, and the rates aren't always as favorable. But those people can buy homes too. But you
Right.
have to be mindful when you're self-employed, right? To make sure that you're getting yourself set up. So, but we're not here to talk about mortgage. We're here
Right.
to talk about real estate. And more
Real estate.
importantly, we're here to talk about you, Lisa. So,
one one other thing that I think was completely shocking to me when I first got started was I mentioned that I love to show homes,
yeah.
now sell homes, but I did not realize that when I went to real estate school, it was law school. That was one thing that was so shocking to me. I had no idea. You watch on HGTV and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
here's the living room, here's the bedroom. And you feel like you're in law school. It was that was the hardest test I ever took. And but it's been worth it. So
Well, little did you know. Yeah. I mean, we see the glamorous side of real estate, but we don't understand we're negotiating contracts, right? We have to
yes.
understand, the legalities of the contract, but we also have to understand, the home and, is there potentials for mold or, or are there liens against these properties? I mean, there's so many different
Yeah.
facets that people need to be looking out for to make sure that they're making a wise investment when they're purchasing it as a top tier real estate agent. That's the knowledge that you have to know, and you're representing them under a contractual agreement. So you're 100% correct. When you look at it from the outside perspective, go, oh, this is great. I get to show homes and sell people their dreams. We do, right?
Yes.
And that's an amazing part about the industry. But man, if you're going to work with somebody who is going to represent you, they better understand the other side of that business, which is how does the legal side work? How do I protect my borrower's best interest, right?
Exactly.
That's super important too.
One word can literally cost somebody $10,000 or $20,000. And that was eye opening to me.
Mm, yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
very, very careful with if I don't know, I'm going to find out. But for the most part, you learn something every day.
We do.
Um, yeah, it's absolutely every day's different. And
Yeah.
I am super ADHD, so I like to spin 1,000 plates at the same time. I thrive on that. Um, so that's it's fun for
I,
me. I like having
I,
all the things going on together.
I think that's part of the industry. I almost feel like they need to hand you a bottle of, Ritalin or Adderall when you start the business because you better be ADHD to be able to keep up with all the moving parts, right? I say
Yes,
that kiddingly, but at the end of the day, I will
true.
tell you, most agents and loan originators I know, we're great at balancing like
Yes.
way more than the average human being is. And I think we
Hmm.
thrive in that, right? We thrive in the chaos where others would come in and be like, this is a lot.
If literally you can have no appointments for a day, and within 30 minutes you've got 5 appointments.
Yeah.
And if you're the type of person that you like a schedule and you like a plan, you
Hmm.
better get flexible because it's not happening.
Yeah.
Just when you think you have a plan, it's you can't. You just have to add more to it. You have 15
That's
minutes here,
right.
you have 15 minutes there. Fill that spot, service that client, make it work,
Hmm.
and that's how you get to the top.
Well, you get that contract in, and then all of a sudden
Mhm.
you hear on the other contract you disclose the appraisal came in, and there's an issue with such and such, thing, and they're going to have to rebuild the porch or put a new roof
Right?
in before we can get to closing. And we got another closing that butts up against that one, and man, we better make that happen because that seller's not going to be happy. And those are
Hmm.
the kind of things that people don't understand. We've got to dig on our feet, figure out a solution to that problem pronto because there's so many people involved in all those parts, and we've got to get people to closing and get everybody on both sides of every transaction in a situation that's going to get them to closing on time, right? That's just what we have to do.
And I think the best to me, the best agents make it look like they're not doing anything because they're
Mm,
holding everything together behind the scenes.
that's right.
You might have 4 different transactions that are all going to close in a domino on the same day. And
Yeah.
if one thing goes wrong, they can all fall apart. But it's all about communication with the other agent, with the home inspector, with title, with termite inspections, with just everything.
It's like my single school teacher mother's closet, right? When you walk in the house, everything looks great, but don't open that closet
Don't
door
open the closet.
because if you do, it's all coming out at once, right?
That's the truth. It's
It is.
crazy. If they only
Yeah.
knew everything that we do behind the scenes. I think I read somewhere it's 272 things that happen from the
Yeah.
time you meet a client till closing.
We have a thing called 184 things a realtor does. Now, there may be 272 things that are done, but 184 of them are yours, girl. That's
Yes, it's a
so
lot.
it is a lot.
It's a lot, but I
Dave,
love it.
Dave, you were about to say something, brother. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just gonna say, you know, we look at your production report. Is it just you, or do you have a team behind you?
It's just me.
Wow. Well, there's only 24 hours in a day. How do you do it?
I
And
really
go to
don't
equity.
know. I really honestly don't know. I got this week alone, I think I've had the best week of my entire career. I've got 5 new contracts. I still have 2 offers out there that I'm waiting on an answer. And I got 4 new listings all this
Good for
week.
you.
Yeah,
It's
I was gonna say
insane.
that's this week, folks. The people that are listening, that's a lot of people's
That
month
is
and year.
literally in commission more than I made in a whole year with the health department. So no job for me. So
You know, that we're back to back now. So we run 2 podcasts, you know, every Friday, and you know, we had one right before you. And
Okay.
the podcast predecessing this one, she was a band teacher, and
Wow.
she'd done it for 9 years, and she
Yeah.
really had to struggle with her decision to come over to real estate. And she said she knew when she made the right choice when she had that first check. It solidified it because, you know, there's always naysayers. You know, you're not going to make it. This isn't going to work. Why would you leave a secure job, right? And she said that solidified it for her was when she was able to make as much as she made in 1 year and 1 month. And it wasn't about the money, right?
No,
It was
it's
just
not.
about the achievement, right? I achieved that, and that solidifies all the struggle,
Yes.
right, that you go through in the beginning to get there. So, you know, we always talk about that overnight success.
No.
And, you know, there's a lot of sleepless nights
Yes. There
to get
are.
to that one night where it actually started coming together.
There really
It's
are.
that 9-year overnight success.
Exactly.
Or like when you have this happened to me this week. I had a new listing on Monday, and I had it contracted. I put it up Monday night at 8:30. I had it under contract before 5 o'clock the next day, and I have both sides of that deal. And it makes it look like, well, she said she sold it so quick. You know, why do we have to pay her so much commission? And it's like, no, it's not that. It's the relationships that I had before now. It's all my Google reviews. It's all the work that I did prior to this. And he actually, yeah, he had it for sale by owner for 4 months. And he said, I've only shown it twice. I said, how's that working for you? I had 2 showings less than 24 hours and had it gone. So he's
Said that, you know,
He's
because we
thankful.
talk about that sometimes, and you know, the for sale by owner, and I get it, right? Because sometimes it's like, well, you know, why would I do that? I'm giving up or sacrificing, but the reality of the situation is you got to think about the time that you're sacrificing to get out there and actually try to sell that property, right? And yes, you sold it quick, but as you mentioned, you've got years of relationships and years
Right.
of you know, Rolodex, right, of people that you could reach out to and say, hey, we're putting something on the market. You might want to check this out. I think it
That's
checks the boxes you might be thinking about. And, you know, as a result of that, that's why you can do it. We talk about this all the time. In fact, the probably the most recent one that we can utilize in this example is, you know, Apple. You know, we know what they sell, right? Everybody knows what Apple sells. Well, guess what? If I turn on the commercial or look at my social media today, I'm probably going to see an ad from Apple about the iPhone 16, right?
That's right.
And at the end of the day, Apple doesn't have to advertise, right?
No.
It's not necessary. We knew the iPhone 16 was coming out, right? But guess what? Even Apple advertises, right?
Coca-Cola.
McDonald's advertises, right? You know, at the end of the day, we know they're selling burgers. They've been selling billions of them, right? But I may not eat them, but they, you know, but people do. And at the end of the day, they're still sending out commercials every week. That's why you use a realtor, right? You're using a realtor because they're going to market that property for you. And not only do you get Lisa as your realtor, but you get an army of realtors in that entire area who are all out selling your property for you, right?
Exactly.
So you have to think about those things when you're going, well, yeah, I could sell it myself. Man, there's a lot of things I could sell myself, but I have a job. And at the end of the day, sometimes it's not the best use of my time to take myself away from the things that I do to sell one thing, right? So you use a professional and you paying for marketing, right?
That's
That's
right.
what you're doing. You're paying for the market. That's who your realtor is. They are your marketer. and they are licensed and professional. And if they're good, like Lisa, you're going to be damn happy you paid for their services.
That's
Because
right.
you're going to sell your house in 2 days.
That's right. One day. And then the other thing is, now that you've got a contract, if it's for sale by owner, now that you have someone says, hey, yes, I want to buy your house, who's going to do your paperwork for you? You know, who's going to, as the buyer, who's going to say, hey, you really need a home inspection. This is to protect you. The homeowner's not going to tell them, oh, you need to get a home inspection, so you might void your contract. So,
well, and if we go back to the beginning of this, like you said, when you first got into the industry, you didn't realize you need to be an attorney to get licensed. And well, I know we're joking about that,
Can't give
right? You
legal
don't
advice,
have to
but
be an attorney,
you feel
but
like
you
it.
certainly need to understand all the ins and outs of the contracts and, you know, how it works so you don't put yourself in a position, you know, to where you're making a terrible investment that's going to cost you a tremendous amount of money, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's actually been times that I have told people, no, you don't want this house. It's not in your best interest to get this house.
So I love that you said that, right? Because if you were the type of agent that was in it for a paycheck, you'd never tell them that. You're saying, oh, this is it. This is the one. Let's go sign up. Let's make it happen, right? But when you're working with the right agent, right, the one that actually cares, it's not about the paycheck. The money comes, right? It's about putting people in the right investment for them so that you can sleep at night and go home and say, I made sure that my customer was taken care of.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just the other day, I had a lady, I've been working with this lady. She's 87 years old, and she's been trying to find an apartment. Her daughter's been trying to find an apartment for their mother. And she said, what's available on the market right now? I said, there's one apartment. I said, but it's a garage apartment. It's up over the garage. She's 87. The main picture had stairs. And she said, well, we're gonna show her anyway. She might like it. Well, I met them at the property, and the poor lady, she struggled. The daughter parked about 30 feet from the stairs.
No.
The mom couldn't even get halfway to the stairs. And she's like, come on, Mom, you can do it. And I'm just like, this is not your house.
Yeah.
No, this is wrong. I just didn't feel, no, absolutely not. If there was ever a fire, she would never survive.
Yeah.
And,
But that just shows who you are, you know, and that's why you're having great success, you know, because you care about the people that you serve and they know that. So, you know, guess what? We haven't talked about this, but I'm going to go out on a limb. Do you have a lot of repeat business from referrals?
I do. I do.
Big surprise, right?
I really do. I have certain people that just keep sending me people, and I love it.
Yeah. They won't leave me alone, darn it. Stop sending me business.
You have time. Can you help somebody? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
I always put my sold stuff on Facebook, and they said, I get all kinds of inboxes, and they say, I see you helping all these people. Can you help me too? I'm like, do you have time to help me? I said, sure.
So we got to stop right there, right? Like it's like little record scratch. Why do agents put the properties they're selling online? Because it helps people know that they're there serving families.
Yes.
That's why. And we're not showing off and we're not bragging. We're celebrating a special moment in that person's life.
100%.
And we're promoting that, hey, this person, you know, they became a homeowner, right? It's not about us. It has nothing to do with that, right? It's about helping those people. And as a result, guess what? Other people see that and they go, you know what? Man, Lisa helps people. You know, I'd love to be one of those people too.
Yep. 100%.
Well, we would love to keep you here all day. We probably could, but we know you got a closing and like 5 contracts, and you're probably going to be doing some cartwheels and backflips at some point in time. So what did we not cover on today's podcast that we should have?
I think we have everything covered. I love what I do. If you love people and I've just found my calling. And honestly, it comes very naturally for me. And I really honestly don't feel like I work, even though I probably work a lot more hours than most people. I love what I do, and I don't feel like I work.
That's the passion coming through. You know, when you're passionate about something, it's not work. It's just, it's your calling. Like you said,
it's fun.
You know, you're called to this industry. Yeah. And we're glad you're here. We need more people out there like you, Lisa.
I always say, this business is 99% wonderful, but the 1% is exhausting. You have that 1% that just getting them to the finish line, getting them to closing table is a struggle. But when it happens, it's great.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, when the folks out there want to find you, how do they find you, Lisa? Where are you at?
I am on all social media. It's Lisa Dillon, Lisa Shepherd Dillon, my maiden name on my personal page, Lisa Dillon Realtor. And I know they're going to put all of my contact in the
Right
show
across
notes,
the
so
screen.
check that out. And I'm happy to connect with you. My company that I work with, Epic, I'm building my team across the country. And I'd love to tell you about my company and all the benefits they provide. And also share anything about real estate. Happy to help. Any referrals, welcome too. I'll take good care of
Lisa
them.
Dillon with Epic out of Mississippi, just east of Louisiana. I don't know
North.
why I can't talk today. Oh, north, just north of Louisiana.
Louisiana.
All over the place.
Me sitting right
There
there.
it is. Yeah, there it is. There it
Yes.
is, guys. So, and if you want to work with Lisa, as she said, she's out there, but she's building a team across the United States. And while we're talking about building a team across the United States, Rod, you service the entire United States.
Amazing.
In fact, Rod's from Hawaii originally, if he hasn't told you that.
Wow.
So, he's hitting Hawaii and Alaska and everything in between. So, Rod, brother, you're with Click and Close Mortgage. And we know you do a great job on the lending team because you're part of us. When the folks out there want to find you, Rod, how do they get in touch with you?
My direct number at the office is 469-331-3423, or they can email me at rod.whitfield@clickandclose.com.
There it is. There it is, guys. Well,
Awesome.
Lisa Dillon and Rod Whitfield, man, you guys have been just awesome today. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, and if you guys want to find them, you probably saw that run across the bottom of the screen, but if you didn't have time to jot it down, never fear. Go to the description. And if you're listening in, go to the description. That contact information's right there, and you're going to get a chance to talk to Lisa and Rod. And, man, they're going to make your dreams come true. And it sounds like you probably really have a great time doing it too. So, Dave, anything you want to say to our guests today before we call it a wrap?
Well, I know this. If you're looking for real estate in the L,
In the L.
in Mississippi,
For Lisa.
Louisiana, call Lisa. She serves 9 counties. She's so bubbly. Looks like you're going to have a great time, and she knows her stuff. So give her a call if you're looking for real estate in those counties.
Good
Awesome.
stuff, guys. Well, I think, Rod, brother, thanks again for showing up. You brought a really great guest. We appreciate that as well.
Thanks for coming, Lisa.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Good to talk to you guys.
Well, guys, we're your real estate success partners. I'm Devin and David.
I'm David Wynn.
If you want to check us out, come on over to realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. Or if you want to meet these two live and in person, get over to YouTube and find us at the Dubuque team. And we think you'll be happy that you did. Make sure you jot down those numbers, give them a call, let them know just how awesome they are, because they're going to take great care of you. Okay, guys? And hey, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find us at the Dubuque team on IG, Facebook, and TikTok. We're all over the place. So if you need anything, our team is always here to serve. Until the next time, we will see you then.
Bye, guys.
See you, Lisa.